Many people think that when a person commits suicide, he does so to escape his daily pain or her daily pain, but I think actually it's quite the opposite. I think they are finally embracing their pain. And let's talk about it. Yesterday, the 23rd of February 2022, we slept to the news of the passing of a South African hip hop superstar by the name of Ricky Rick. And it was said that the cause of death was actually suicide, and many people actually may blame cyberbullying for it. And yeah, anyway, I do not know much about Ricky Rick, and I don't want to maybe tarnish his name in any way by speaking things that are out of terms. I do not know him well enough actually to say anything about him. All I know actually is maybe a couple of the controversies maybe he caused whenever he attended events, mainly coming from his dress code. He had a flamboyant, I think that's what I'm gonna label it. He had a flamboyant style of dressing, and many people actually turned it into memes. That's one of the things that I know about him. Of course, I've seen a couple of collaborations that is made with some artists like your Duncans, like your Big Zulu, and your stuff like that. I've seen his songs, but I wasn't following his life actually closely enough to know deep details about him. So it would be out of character for me to say anything regarding the reason actually why he committed suicide, or maybe to make any assumptions about that. What I want to talk about today is that the most common belief, or the most common misconception, is that people commit suicide to escape pain. I went through an experience actually last year where a certain amount of pain hit me, a deep level of pain and frustration actually pertaining my own life. I wouldn't say led me to being suicidal, but the point actually where I was at, I realized that suicide was possible. Had I been suicidal before, I think maybe then I could possibly have made the decision actually to end my life. The pain actually was that deep. And it doesn't stem from any physical pain or physical illness, or maybe pre-diagnosed mental illness before or something like that. I have not been diagnosed with any form of mental illness at the moment, but last week Tuesday I went through another experience where I came to terms actually with a specific fact in my life, that I think I was depressed. And the reasons why I'm depressed can be traced. I can maybe point to a number of things, a number of events that have happened in my life that have led me to this particular place. And I wasn't diagnosed by a doctor. I actually called or made that realization actually, and accepted it for myself. And I did so in order to embrace it, not necessarily so that I get subscribed or transcribe some form of medication or anything like that, but so that I maybe take the necessary steps towards getting the help that I believe I need. I believe people who commit suicide actually do so to finally embrace the pain. And hear me out, it's not to escape it, but to embrace it. Like I said, I went through a episode where many different events that happened actually in my life sort of piled up. Life is overcoming on a daily basis. You daily trying to overcome some of the obstacles that you meet. And whenever there's any form of failure, whenever there's any form of disappointment, whenever there's any form of pain, usually you are trying to escape it either by, I don't know. Okay, for me, actually, for the most part, I pray about it. But some people actually have pacifications. Some people have addictions that I believe are born out of the daily pain that they face in their lives. And so each time you try to overcome the pain is actually your attempt to escaping it. Anytime you're trying to do something better, anytime you're trying to acquire something better, anytime you're trying to achieve something better, in most cases, my thinking is you are trying to escape the pain that you feel on a daily basis in your life. When you get to a point actually where it feels like there is no way of escaping the pain, there is no way of removing this pain from your life, removing the suffering actually from your life, I think you get to a place where you finally embrace it. by attempting one of the things that we fear the most. One of the things actually that we fear the most is death. And why do we fear it? We fear it because we do not know what's on the other side. That's one of the reasons. It's the fear of the unknown. And the second fear, I think, please remember, this is not maybe some form of expert information. This is just my personal opinion, and I'm speaking about how I viewed it after actually experiencing what I experienced. So anyway, the second thing is, one of the things that we fear about death is the pain of the experience, I suppose, that leads to death. We imagine, I don't want to, gosh, one of my friends actually lost a brother not so long ago, and he lost his brother to a violent crime. Actually, he got stabbed. And I think one of the things that hurts my friend the most is the imagination of what his brother went through before he died. And one of the reasons I suppose we fear death is the pain, the experience or the pain that we attach to the experience of dying. So somebody who finally decides to commit suicide actually decides to face that pain. He decides to face the fear of the unknown, because nobody actually has a guarantee that life is going to become better on the other side. So would it make sense to say that the person is escaping the pain actually from this side when they do not know what kind of pain awaits them on the other side? And that doesn't make sense to me. So I think a person, this is because I think I myself got to that point, only I did not attempt suicide because I don't know, it was a personal decision. Somebody else actually might have done something differently, and that wouldn't be a reflection of any form of weakness on their part. These days many people are feeling alone, and many people actually are feeling frustrated. There's many perils actually in life that are frustrating people. One of the things that sunk me into that hole of depression actually last week Tuesday was the realization that my dreams might not be possible, and that scared me. I do not fear death specifically. I'm not afraid of that. Not because of any guarantees that I have actually of where I will be going on the other side. For me, the biggest fear actually is living not to achieve my dreams. Maybe it's petty, but they are that valuable to me. They are that important to me. Most of my prayers, for the most part, are made out of me praying to God for the grace and the ability to fulfill my dreams. Not for Him to fulfill them for me, but for Him to give me the ability and maybe make my way such that, my dreams actually become possible. And I've been pursuing for the ability to actually accomplish my dreams for the past 20 years, and with manifold disappointments, manifold sufferings actually along the way, manifold losses actually, and manifold legislations that interfered with my ability to make an income, thus putting a stall on my progression and trajectory towards me achieving my dreams. And something happened last week Tuesday, and I came back to my house and I sat down. I was like, you know what? I'm actually depressed, because for the first time in my life, I fear that my dreams might not be possible. And for me, if I'm not living for my dreams, life is not worth living. I'm not saying I'm ready to commit suicide, so don't be afraid of that. But somebody else might be in that position, and somebody else actually might be in a worse position in that there is daily pain attached to the inability or the possibility of them achieving their dreams. Maybe they are living through daily abuse. Maybe that abuse is not even, I suppose, at home. Maybe it's at work. And there could be a plethora of other things. Somebody might be living in debt, and his ability or her ability to provide for his family and the people that he loves, that actually is altered, and that also could be pain that is suppressing him on a daily basis, and is trying to escape it by trying to do something that gives him the ability to provide for his or her family and all of that. There could be manifold reasons actually why people live in pain and suffering on a daily basis. My theory is, when they finally decide or make the decision actually to end their lives, that's them finally embracing the pain because they cannot escape it. Now, why would this be useful? Honestly, I do not even know. I haven't escaped actually most of my problems. I haven't escaped actually many of the things that I fear. Right now, actually, at this position, nothing has changed actually since last week, Tuesday, and today. What's keeping me alive, and I don't want to consider myself suicidal, I suppose. What's keeping me alive, I suppose, is hope that my dreams, actually, despite everything that I've faced, are still possible. I guess it's also a paradox in a sense, because I mean, you could embrace that your life actually is pain and you continue to live it, hoping that situations will change at some point, or you will change. And yes, and maybe that's one of the reasons actually I'm still here. I'm still hoping, I guess. One of my other fears is leaving my family in this particular position. My mother actually has already lost way too many things, way too many people is lost. She lost actually her firstborn daughter, which was my elder sister, and then she lost her secondborn daughter. So right now it's only my brother and I that is left, and also my niece, which is my brother's daughter. So I would want to put my mother in this particular position where she loses another son. I think that also would drive her nuts, and she's fought a lot actually for us to be alive, because at one point she did try to commit suicide. She tells me the story. Oh God. She tells me the story that she prepared all of the things. I think she was gonna consume a mix or fluid that is used to, as an insecticide for cornfields, an insecticide for corn. She was gonna make us drink that, and I guess all of us were gonna die. She didn't want to leave us behind. It was just me and my brother actually back then. Well, actually me and my brother, and we were still young. The two siblings actually had their dad, and I guess she supposed that they were gonna, their dad was gonna take care of them when she was gone, because they were living with their father. So anyway, she said she prepared actually the whole thing, and then she had a voice that she now attaches to God, of course. She said the voice spoke to her that, okay, this is what might happen. You will drink this insecticide, and you will make them drink it first. And because they are young, and their stomach's actually not strong enough right now, they are gonna die. But you are older. You will consume this, and because your stomach is stronger, your body is stronger because you're older, people might be able to save your life. They might take you to the hospital, and then maybe you'll get a stomach pump and then you'll survive. But the death of your children, you will never be able to forgive yourself for it. And she says she took the whole cup filled with that nonsense, and she flung it actually across the door and threw it in the field. So she already overcame suicide. If I ever tried that, I feel like I'd be letting it down, because even the story of my conception, she conceived of me. She was in love and in a relationship with my dad, and then when my dad found out that she was pregnant with me, he walked away due to other personal problems actually in his specific life. And she says her siblings talked to her actually into aborting me, but my mom was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep him. If he and I, or if I have to eat a plate full of cow dung in order to survive, he's gonna have to eat with me on that plate. She didn't have much actually in that particular position. She wasn't educated. She dropped out actually out of Form 3, and she didn't have any certificates to make it in life. But yeah, she had faith that her dreams actually could come true. Her biggest dream was to work for the government, and apparently before they broke up with my dad, he told her to acquire a short-hand certificate so that she can maybe work as a secretary or in typing pool actually for the government. And yes, that dream actually did come to pass. She still speaks in my ear sometimes annoyingly that I should trust and have faith in God, that my dreams actually will come to pass, and that's one of the reasons why I'm still alive. So anyway, I hope this is valuable for somebody. If you ever lost a person to suicide, a brother, a sister, a friend, a father, actually lost one of my friends. Actually shot himself. Apparently, they say that he discovered that his wife was cheating, and then he decided to blow his own brains out. So yeah, it happens, especially among men. So if you've ever lost somebody to suicide, and maybe you thought that it's because they were trying to escape their daily pain, I don't think that's the case. I think they finally embraced the pain. Whether that's good for you or not, I'm not really sure. If this video was any form of value actually to you, that you watched it actually to this part, please leave a comment below and give me your own personal opinion. This was not a professional analysis or diagnosis or of some kind. It's just a personal opinion that pain can get too much to individuals that escaping or trying to numb it through any form of medication or pacification or addiction of any kind, it's easier to finally embrace it by embracing the one thing actually we fear the most, which is death. I don't know. Leave your comment below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.